Welcome to the February 8th meeting of the Rotary Club of Louisville. I'm Kevin Lynch, President of the club, and Paul Harris Fellow. Please silence your phones. We have several condolences, unfortunately, this week. Condolences to longtime Rotarian and past President Dr. Maynard Stetson on the passing of his wife, beloved wife, Nancy, on January 19th. And condolences to their son as well, and former Rotarian Matthew Stetson. A ceremony will be held to honor her life, Nancy's life, this afternoon from 4 to 7 at Pearson Funeral Home. We're sad to hear of the passing of Dr. Gordon Tobin just recently, who, while not officially a Rotarian, recently spoke to our club. He also helped a lot on the Gun Violence Reduction Committee, and he's just a fantastic human being. The celebration of life for him will be held Saturday, February 17th, a week from Saturday, from 10 to 11:30 at Graumeyer Hall at U of L here. Mary Mobley Peachy Kohler, wife of long-term Rotarian Don Kohler, died Saturday at the age of 91. She and Don were married for 63 years until Don's death in 2020. The service was held last January 26th at St. Francis of the Fields Episcopal Church in the Berryhill Cave Cemetery. And incidentally, Gordon and Elizabeth were married for 55 years. And I think Stan and Nancy were married for a whole bunch of years. I don't know the exact number, but all three of those were happily married for many, many years. And fortunately, they had their lives together. But please join me in a moment of silence. Great people. Providing our invitation today is Brett Corbin. Now he's a Senior Vice President at R.W. Baird.
All right, please bow your head for a moment of reflection and prayer. With all the strife in the world, let us pray for calm classrooms so that people of all ages who are trying to better themselves and live a better life can do so without distraction. And please let the educators in our school receive the recognition, respect, and rewards for all the hard work that they do in our education system. For a society should be judged on how well its citizens are educated, because that is what determines its destiny. Amen. Amen.
Thanks, Brett. Now to lead us in the pledge and four-way test is Josh Suter, CEO of the St. Matthew's Chamber and also Vice Chair of the Emerging Leaders Committee.
Join me in the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the four-way test.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it yield goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Now, time for guests. Introduce your guest on the back. There's a mic there, and go sit down. And guest, as your name is called, just please rise. Introduce your name and then the name, title, and organization of your guest.
My wife Pamela Howard is here today, the teacher at IU, as well as manages money at the investment.
Vice Chancellor Ford from Indiana University Southeast.
Who is the executive director now at the Kids Center. Bill has probably reintroduced himself to the three corners of this room this morning. I'm very happy to have Bill as my guest.
Dr. Smith at Stephen College of Kentucky, so kind words of those who invited me to go there. I'd like to introduce someone who's been a guest here before, but you all come to the full board. So Dr. Chico called this
Thank you. And guests, after the luncheon, you can, if you'd like to, head over to the table over there in the very corner. They'll explain, Craig Sherman will explain a little more about Rotary, what it's all about, etc. And this is a week with a lot of Rotarians in the spotlight. A lot of news about Rotarians I'll go through here. Rebecca Grignon-Raker, Executive Director, Louisville Metro Police Foundation, for being selected as a Leadership Louisville Bingham Fellow. The topic for the 2024 class is Safer City, Creating a Thriving City for All, focused on preventing and reducing violence. Also an important focus for our club this year with the GBR committee. Congratulations to Ashley Brower on being featured in the January edition of Today's Woman magazine. Congratulations to Maggie Harlow on being honored and being featured in the being honored with the Prestige Enterprising Woman of the Year Award. I can see that. Gil Holland and Sonoblast Records partnered with 502 Film to host the 2024 Kentucky Film Party at the Sundance Film Festival. Was that Susie Eastman? Is that the same one? 502 Films, that Susie Eastman who spoke to us? Okay. Congratulations to Dr. Rick Smith. Where did Rick go? Oh, there he is. Rick Smith, Sr., for those who don't know, by the way, on his appointment as Senior Vice President of Institutional Advancement and Development at Simmons College in Kentucky. That was a good hire. Congratulations to Brett Corbin, our recent speaker, on starting a new chapter as Senior Vice President at R.W. Baird following a decade at Raymond James. Congratulations to Moira Scott Payne and the Kentucky College of Art and Design, KYCAD, on receiving candidate for accreditation status, a key milestone for the old Louisville-based college on its path to accreditation. Congratulations to Nashawn Tribune, who will kick off the 2024 Chamber of Matthews and St. Matthews Inspire Series. We'll mention a couple of upcoming events. We have a few spots open still for cooking at Millie's. Social event next Tuesday, that's February 20th. Join Executive Director Delene and her husband, Mike, and others for this fun evening. The deadline to register is this Saturday. And a big one coming up, the 150th Kentucky Derby. We're not going on Saturday, we're going on Wednesday. Tickets for our Rotary Day at the Downs on Wednesday, May 1st are going fast and will sell out pretty, we're sure, in advance. So don't wait to get your tickets because you may find they're already gone. It's really a special area. We're up in the new Silks balcony area this year. Good view of the paddocks, over the paddock, and also great view of the track. Last year we were at First Turn, or what it was called, and there weren't as many races went by because some come out of the chute, but you'll see all the races this time. And look for details in Sparks about registration for that, for both of those. And finally, for those interested in becoming a Paul Harris Fellow, or advancing to a new level, here is a great chance to have your donation points matched through a district campaign which runs from February 12th through March 24th. It applies to any contribution of $125 or more. They can basically double your contribution in terms of credits points. There are special instructions to qualify, so please read Sparks, as you all do every day, every week, or see Annual Fund Chair Mike Cull for details, or give your check to Delene. She'll always take checks. Okay, I'd like to welcome to the podium Karen Morrison, Chair of the Awards and Recognition Committee, for a special presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Awards and Recognition Committee got together recently, and we realized that we were a little overdue in presenting some Service Above Self awards this year. We discussed more than a dozen candidates, but two stood out to us that we wanted to recognize this month, not for what they do for any one special occasion, but what they do week after week, year after year. So these two folks, one of whom we will recognize today, are the epitome of unshakable commitment. The first recipient, who again we will acknowledge today, has been a Rotarian for 37 years. He is a Paul Harris Fellow and a sustaining member, and he leads one of our longest standing projects every single year since 1986. Every fall, preceding the holidays, we see him waiting patiently outside the door before meetings, greeting all of us with a smile and a gentle request to sign up for the Salvation Army bell ringing. He fills in those spots that are blank without complaint, and when folks cancel, which sometimes happens, especially when the weather is really cold, he comes out there and fills in every single time. He's recruited lots of folks over the years, and I know I've helped him out a few years, but he is there every single year, year after year, even when some of us feel like we simply don't have the time to make that sort of commitment. So whether we win or lose against the Kiwanis, George Breakmeyer is a winner. We are so fortunate to have you in this club. So please accept this as a small token of our appreciation for your 37 years of dedicated service. Doing that Salvation Army bell ring again next year, I think we're going to win.
They always say.
Thanks for everybody that does that bell ringing. We really appreciate it.
By the way, you can't get here without going through George. This is the way it is. Thanks a lot, George. Thanks, Karen, for also doing what you and the awards committee did to recognize the over and above service of some individuals. Also, anybody consider nominations for Rotary of the Year, Lifetime Service, for Lifetime Service Award. There are forms at your table, so keep in mind those you've observed who do some great work. And now I want to introduce our main speaker today. Dr. Debbie Ford became Chancellor of IU Southeast in July of last year, becoming the 6th Chancellor and 2nd woman Chancellor to serve in that position on that campus. A strong proponent of community engagement, she's been appointed to a 3-year term on the Board of Directors of One Southern Indiana, which is their GLI, basically. Very important institution. She also served the advisory board of the Council for Adult and Experiential Learning, and will serve as the executive sponsor representing the 5 regional IU campuses for the American Association of State Colleges and Universities Student Success Equity Intensive. The program, which is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which also sponsors a lot of things we do, is a comprehensive multi-year initiative designed to help institutions close the equity gaps of the Black, Latino, Latina, Indigenous, and low-income students. Before joining the Learning Committee at IU Southeast, Dr. Ford served as Chancellor of the IU of the University of Wisconsin-Parkside for 14 years. Prior to UW Parkside, she was Vice President of Student Affairs at the University of West Florida and Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students at Spalding University. I think you've heard of that. Dr. Ford holds her BS from the University of Louisville, her Master of Higher Education and Student Affairs from Indiana University, and her Doctorate of Education also from the University of Louisville. A native Louisvillian, she married her college sweetheart John, and they have 2 adult children, Abby and JD, a future lawyer perhaps, and a grandson, Caden David.
Well, good afternoon. And thank you so much for having me. It is great to be back home in Kentuckiana. And I know the question you're all wondering, right, is where did she go to high school? So I got that question in Wisconsin and Florida anytime I met somebody from Louisville. So I went to Mercy Academy, and it is great to be here. So I'd like to share a few words today about Indiana University Southeast, and then I will open it up to questions. But as a former Rotarian, I know that we share many common values: service above self, and of course the tenets of the 4-way test. And I really appreciate today's invocation because it really focused on the power of education. And education opens doors to opportunity. So I would invite each of you today to think about and thank a teacher. Thank an educator for what they do each and every day, because it's tough out there for our educators. So thank you for raising attention to that. So I know your club provides valuable and uplifting services to the citizens of this region and to the city of Louisville. This is evident in the creation and implementation of several of your service projects, and I think it's important to lift these up today. First of all, the Rotary Honor Scholarships and Mentorship Program at Western and Iroquois High Schools and the West Louisville Housing Initiative. I commend you for leading the way to better and brighter futures for our community. I want you to know that Indiana University Southeast is proud to be a partner with the Rotary Honor Scholarships, and we welcome ideas for future partnerships where our two organizations can propel our community forward. And I know with my higher ed partners here, we are all committed to doing this in collaboration. I'm extremely proud today to talk with you about Indiana University Southeast and how we collectively can advance our region. I am here because Indiana University Southeast is a partner in our region's growth, and for someone who's been away for 20 years, this area is on fire, I can tell you. And we want to build bridges, not just real bridges across the Ohio River, but bridges between our organizations that elevate our partnerships to new levels. Currently, Indiana University Southeast has more than 31,000 alumni, and 80% of whom live and work in the greater Kentuckiana region. Think about that for a moment. That's 25,000 Indiana University Southeast graduates living, working, leading, and contributing right here. These graduates are business leaders just like you. They're entrepreneurs, artists, accountants, educators, scientists, doctors, and nurses. So I want to know how many folks in this room are alumni of IU Southeast, first of all. All right, love it, love it, love it. How many have IU Southeast graduates in your families? Okay, even better. And how many are fellow IU graduates at one of our campuses? Okay, that's awesome. And then I know we have some faculty and staff and some of our adjunct faculty and staff here. So anyone who's ever taught or continues to teach for us at IU Southeast. Awesome. We're always looking for folks. There's going to be a call for you a little later, so just so you know. So as you know and have heard from these folks and these proud graduates, IU Southeast, we provide a world-class, internationally renowned Indiana University degree in a personalized, high-touch environment. Think big university resources with small college accessibility. Our strategy at Indiana University, and of course at IU Southeast, is built on 3 pillars: student success and opportunity, transformative research and creativity, and service to Indiana and beyond. So let me talk about each of these areas and why I believe it matters to you as fellow leaders in our community. First, student success and opportunity. It's one of the main reasons I came back to this region, was to be able to create opportunities and pay it forward as a first-generation college grad. We attract, retain, and graduate students who receive an extraordinary and affordable education. 86% of our students come from our 19-county service region, 11 counties in southern Indiana, and 8 here in the greater Louisville area, and we're looking to expand that. Students from Louisville comprise more than 1/4 of our graduate students and just under 20% of our undergraduates. It is an area of focus that we want to increase because we've lost some of that market share in the past, and particularly because of COVID. We offer excellent opportunities to learn with undergraduate and graduate degrees, concentration certificates in the areas of business, nursing, education, social sciences, natural sciences, and of course the arts. All of our programs provide the knowledge, skills, and values and the competencies that your organizations are looking for to advance, and also to make sure that our graduates are prepared to thrive in the 21st century knowledge economy. We know that our graduates are successful. 98% of our graduates in the class of 2022, so about 18 months ago, 98% of those graduates are either employed or attending graduate school within a year of their commencement ceremony. 98%. Thank you. You're right. I heard that during my interview, and I was like, that is impressive. And we do this survey every year, and 96% of those folks are right here in this region. You can't go anywhere without bumping in to an IU Southeast graduate. We know this is a remarkable record, and it provides the momentum that we need at Indiana University Southeast. I have had the opportunity in these first 8 months to get reacquainted with the region, and I have met with many of our alumni, business owners, and people throughout the community. And they tell me that IU Southeast graduates are the best teachers, nurses, accountants, business leaders, bankers, etc. You get the picture. At Indiana University Southeast, we prepare graduates who are ready. So not only are our students well prepared, but they enter the workforce with less student debt than others. Our tuition is the lowest of any four-year public college or university in this region, something I'm working to keep that way. And with nearly $16 million in aid awarded annually, our graduates have lower student loan debt. In fact, 51% of the graduates from Indiana University Southeast have zero loan debt, and something that we continue to work on. Yes, that's right. So we offer in-state tuition to residents of the 8 counties here in Kentucky, and we also provide a Keys match because they can't bring the Keys dollars across the river, so we make sure we do provide that scholarship to recognize their academic achievement and their hard work here in Kentucky high schools. That means Kentucky students can attend a university close to home, and for many, less than 10, maybe 15 minutes away, without giving up some of the benefits that they have earned. So let me talk about something that we're all hearing about in the news. Let's call it the elephant in the room. Is college worth the cost? Well, the Rotary Club is meeting at a university. That's awesome. But that question has a lot of parents and families really thinking about that, and it's something we all need to commit to in this knowledge economy, is to reverse the trends in the declining college-going rate. So let me pose the question, is this college, Indiana University Southeast, worth the cost? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to tell you why. So recently, actually last fall, IU Southeast was ranked for their EMI, which is Economic Mobility Index, by Third Way, a Washington, D.C.-based think tank. And I am proud to announce that IU Southeast ranked in the top 10% of colleges and universities nationwide for helping students from low and moderate income households attain a college degree and provide a strong return on their educational investment. So this ranking, you may be wondering, how did this work? It looked at college cost and the income of our graduates to determine how quickly our graduates could recoup the cost of their college education. The higher the income out of college and the less the cost of that education, the better the EMI score. At Indiana University Southeast, we were ranked 125th out of 1,410 colleges and universities nationwide. And we are thrilled that we are the only Tier 1 university ranked in this region to provide the best economic and generational mobility for our graduates. And I'd like a round of applause for the team at IU Southeast for making that happen. So our goal at IU Southeast has been and will continue to remain to be able to enroll a broader representation of our region and attract even more first-generation college graduates. I know the transformative power of higher education. I speak from experience as the first in my family to attend and graduate from college, and my college education began right here at the University of Louisville. Just like right next door in the School of Education, right? And here at Unitas Hall and Threcold Hall, so I know this campus really well. And higher education opened doors for me that I did not know existed. And now I have the responsibility and opportunity to pay that forward. This is what I dream for so many of our young people, right? Is that they have the opportunity to grow, to advance, and to dream, and to be leaders like us and advance our communities. So think about that with me and the work you're doing as Rotarians through your programs and the work you're doing in your organizations are making that happen. So let me talk briefly about the second pillar that guides us at IU Southeast. It's transformative research and creativity. And this is all embedded in our curriculum. Our curriculum and methods of teaching revolve around hands-on learning, co-curricular learning, research, and creative pursuit. We educate tomorrow's leaders prepared to lead as innovators through this unique combination of research, discovery, entrepreneurship, and knowledge generation that builds upon the expertise of our faculty scholars. We call this the IU Southeast Experience. Our approach is market-driven. Our faculty and staff have spent decades building relationships with industry professionals in both Southern Indiana and the greater Louisville area. Local leaders like you continue to tell us, you serve on our advisory boards, and you tell us what skills you're looking for when you're recruiting this next generation of employees. Those skills are then incorporated into our curriculum. Then, when our students graduate, they have the competencies and the knowledge to secure their dream jobs while helping our economy grow and thrive. We see it as a win-win-win. A win for the students, certainly a win for your organizations, and a win for our region. So we do things like excursions to local and regional organizations. We have learning communities, laboratory and studio learning, undergraduate research, creative projects, mentoring relationships, internships, and study abroad that prepare our graduates empowered to change the world. So think about your experience as a student or the experiences of students that you know. Today, there's so much more experiential, and I know all of my higher ed leaders and colleagues are working to create those opportunities. This empowerment that we instill in our graduates leads us to the last part of our strategic plan, strategic pillar, service to Indiana and beyond. As you can tell, I'm excited about being part of a regional university within Indiana, but really in this greater Louisville area. And it's our goal to serve as an integral community partner responding to the needs of our region. We are committed to being a steward of place, embracing our responsibility to serve as the center for regional advancement, to address community, cultural, workforce, economic, education, and health needs. In other words, I want to build more bridges for talented leaders to learn more and do more within our communities and beyond. One way that we do this is to connect campus resources with you, with business and industry. This is where you enter the equation for continued success. I am an educator to the core, and so I have homework for each of you. So we make it easy for you to connect with our campus and for our students to connect with your organizations through our Employer Connect program. We have some crimson flyers at your table that talk a little bit about this, but let me just say a few words. Employer Connect combines sponsorships, mentorships, internships, talent development opportunities, tuition partnerships, and volunteer activities into a winning combination for business, communities, and students. And I can tell you that our students today are hungry for mentors. They want an opportunity to get to know you and learn how you navigated being a young adult and being a student and also working and finding your place as a community steward. We can help provide you with highly educated and ready talent. We are in the talent development business at universities to help fill your openings, and I know you have openings. Every business leader I talk to is looking for talent. And we can design customized training for your existing workforce to upskill their talents. Many of you have tuition reimbursement programs. I can tell you that dollars will go further at IU Southeast, and we want to make sure that we are in partnership with you. You attract the workers you need, we'll help provide the education to advance their careers, their dreams, and of course your organization. But I need you to be with our students. How about passing on your knowledge or expertise? We'd love to have you in our classrooms to visit with our students. Our faculty are open to having you any day to visit and talk about your organization. We'd love for you to host an excursion at your place of business. Because one of the things I remember about growing up here, I did not know how much was happening even in the region where I grew up. And I know how much that has changed. So invite a group of students to come to your organization and learn about what you do, because that exposes them to the opportunities and it helps us keep the students here locally and regionally. Also, if you want to be a mentor, one time, over a course of a semester or a year, we're always looking for folks to engage with our students. We have formal mentoring programs for both folks who are on campus as well as folks who come from the community to support them. Also, if you have a professional need that no one is fulfilling, let's discuss it. We'll find a way at IU Southeast. But I'm also going to tell you if we can't do it, right? We can't be everything to everybody, but I've got great higher ed partners here as well that can do that. So finally, if you know of an adult learner looking to go back to school, a high school student, or even a middle school student who is considering their future, please encourage them to look at Indiana University Southeast. As I've said, we provide a globally recognized Indiana University education in a nurturing, personalized environment where each student is known by our faculty members, and I'm trying to get to know as many students as possible. Our students and our graduates succeed. So getting involved is easy at IU Southeast, and if you have not been over to our campus, you must come. It is absolutely amazingly beautiful, and you have an open invitation to join us at any time. I also want to give you my email address. It's debford, D-E-B-F-O-R-D, @iu.edu. If you would like to connect, I could come to your business. I'm making the rounds all across the region. May not happen next week because it's pretty busy right now, but would love to connect with you. So give me a call, drop me an email. So I want to meet with you and learn more about how Indiana University Southeast can continue to be a leader here in our region. And we can continue to make sure that 86% of our students come from here and over 80% of our graduates remain here. So I would be pleased to answer any questions this afternoon, and really thank you for giving me this time to talk about all the great things happening at Indiana University Southeast. So thank you.
My question is, AI is a big topic nowadays in educational institutions. I know that I was able, when I first got to ChatGPT, to say, give me an itinerary for the Scandinavian countries that comprises 2 weeks. Boom, there it was, you know. How do you foresee this? It's coming, it's here, so it's not going to go away. How do you foresee how it gets incorporated into higher education?
Yeah, so thank you for the question, and certainly we have the beautiful Ogle Center, and the Louisville Orchestra does rehearse there and perform there. So we would love to invite you to any of the performances in the beautiful Ogle Center, so please come back. And your question about AI is something that's on all of our minds. And how is that not only changing professional lives, but our lives personally, but in higher education. And at Indiana University, and certainly at Indiana University Southeast, our faculty are really thinking about how to incorporate it into the curriculum. And let's not be fearful of it, but let's understand how it can enhance what we do. Also, we are looking at AI to help deliver some of our student services so that we can have more personalized student services for students throughout their educational journeys on our campuses. And I would say we're all learning together, and that's what we do best at a university. And we look forward to really trying to engage with this and help others learn how to use it, I would say, most appropriately would be the way I would answer that.
Thank you for being here today. Most pressing question I have is, ooey pooey. I thought that was a good idea.
I don't know.
We have mentored at Western Europe High Schools, and one of the valedictorians at Western, a young man named Reese Grace. And you probably don't know Reese, Reese. How many of y'all here remember? You know Reese already. Oh, yeah. I mean, Reese is a rock star. He was valedictorian at Western High School. He was an educational justice mentor his last year. And now he's at Indiana University Southeast. And thank you for supplying him with a great education and helping him keep enrolled. Thank you.
It's great. Well, we want to create more pathways for those students at Indiana University Southeast, and I taught at Ooey Pooey one time when I was in my master's program, but it is now Indiana University, Indianapolis. And so I think that it creates some opportunities for internationally recognized universities to stand out. So we're very excited about welcoming Indiana University, Indianapolis into our fold. So.
Thank you, President Kevin. Susan Zepeda, thank you for your remarks today. As a member of our Rotary DEI committee, I have to ask you about how the environment feels and how you are working to continue to advance equity and opportunity in this environment.
Yeah, so great question. Thank you for that. And so first of all, I'm going to start this way, that equity, diversity, and inclusion are core to who I am. And actually it was at Indiana University where I really learned a lot about that as an undergraduate student. And for me, education is that great equalizer. It opens doors to opportunity, as I mentioned, that I didn't know existed. And it is core for us to continue to champion and provide pathways to and through higher education for all students, and particularly those that have been, unfortunately, underrepresented in our colleges and universities. And so we are still striving to make sure that we create those pathways for racially underrepresented students. And I can share with you just a quick success from my time at the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. When I started there in 2009, 25% of our students identified as students of color. And for those of you who don't know, UW-Parkside literally sits geographically center between Chicago and Milwaukee, near Lake Michigan. When I left just over a year ago, or almost a year ago, 37% of our students identified as students of color. And how did we do that? Well, we did that because, one, we had a university commitment. Number two, we started looking at our data in a disaggregated way. And I think that's one of the things that we are doing as well. And then here locally, being able to lead the Ask You Student Success Equity Intensive, not only for IU Southeast, but for the regional campuses of Indiana University. We share a commitment to increase equity, diversity, and inclusion on our campuses. And it will take all of us, because a more diverse, more equitable, and inclusive and society where we all belong it has so many more benefits than not. And so keep the faith.
Other questions? I think those are great comments, and I was impressed for many reasons, but one thing that's impressed me particularly was a school that size that's you know, in many diverse fields in terms of what they study. It's not a technical college. That's as much reaching out as I've seen in any university I can think of in terms of wanting to get the students to learn what the employers want. They come out and they're employable, they're getting good jobs, and like you're saying, it helps the economy as well. One correction to her remarks, however. Hate to be disrespectful, but here we go. You moved away from Louisville, you came back to Louisville. Okay, I moved to Louisville, didn't grow up here. I learned the right question. You give the right answer on what high school you went to, but the right question is not what high school did you go to, what school did you go to? I could have answered that easily when I was coming here, but like, yeah, that's good.
But the high school is the answer.
Get the right answer. That was great. I also heard a lot of invitations there, go visit the university. By the way, Larry talked about the Ogleson. The Ogleson is phenomenal. It really is really excellent. And Eric Dufresne, who was supposed to be here today, so he came up, he couldn't come. He gives a great economic outlook every year at IUS. He's also presenting other places. So you're going to get a chance to hear Eric Dufresne. He's great. So I recommend going out there for those kind of things. But also, she recommended want to maybe meet with your business and her or somebody from IUS. It's really impressive to me how much we were invited to be part of of IUS. And if it's a two-way street like that, everybody wins. And I'm very impressed with your approach to this. We do have time for other questions, or we can mingle more, but any other questions for the great Chancellor's remarks? Excellent. You answered all the questions. So let's see. Again, any of the guests can meet with Craig Sherman. He's not there yet, but he will be there right after the class. Next week's speaker is Cleo Battle, who you probably know. He's the president and CEO of Global Tourism. And please register by noon on Monday, or you can scan the QR code today on the screen. Yep, here it is. But it's good meeting, really good insight from the Chancellor. I really appreciate that. Meeting is adjourned.